Welcome to the TAC Index AI podcast, June 10th, 2026, where we blend TAC IP data, reports, and charts with the latest news in all things logistics, with a focus on air cargo. And our mission for this deep dive is to give you an unbiased, factual look at how escalating geopolitical tensions are impacting jet fuel, global air freight capacity, and, the broader macro economy.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, imagine trying to cover historically high air freight bills while, say, the government is holding millions of your dollars hostage.
Right, in a complex tariff dispute.
Exactly. That's the exact squeeze smaller logistics players are navigating today. And, well, the most immediate pressure point driving those high bills is the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, which is basically acting like a global supply chain choke valve right now, especially with the U.S. and Iran exchanging strikes recently.
Right. After a U.S. helicopter was down near the strait. And the energy markets, they reacted instantly to that. Just sticking to the facts. Front-month WTI crude oil futures climbed 1.1%.
Oh, wow. So where did they actually settle?
They settled at $89.17 a barrel.
Okay, right. And for anyone out there managing a transportation budget, WTI crude is essentially the canary in the coal mine. When crude edges up, jet fuel tracks right behind it.
Which acts as a direct accelerant for inflation across the entire logistics market.
It does. But here is where I am honestly a bit confused looking at the TAC index data. Like, if jet fuel is rising on top of this escalating conflict, I really expected global rates to just absolutely spike this week.
Yeah, you would definitely assume that.
But instead, the global Baltic air freight index just flatlined, literally minus 0.0% week over week. So what am I missing here?
Well, you're looking at the global average, right, which is currently masking some pretty intense regional swings. So while it is flat for the week, we really can't ignore that it's still sitting at a staggering plus 33.4% year over year.
Right. That is massive.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the reason it didn't spike further this week is actually because outbound routes from India and Korea are declining week over week.
Oh, so they're finally cooling off from that huge surge we saw back in March.
Exactly. Shippers have essentially baked the conflict into their lead times now and adjusted their supply chains.
Okay, that makes total sense. But what about the trans-Pacific routes?
Well, that cooling effect in Asia is being entirely neutralized by trans-Pacific demand, which remains highly elevated. Hong Kong outbound is still up 36.1% year over year.
Wait, really? 36.1%?
Yep. And on the U.S. side, Chicago rebounded sharply, jumping 12.6% in a single week. So the baseline demand is just stubbornly high.
Wow. And if air capacity is locked into these high baselines and, fuel costs are creeping up, shippers naturally tried to pivot to ocean freight for relief. But looking at the seaports, there's no safety valve there either.
No, not at all.
You look at the buildup of sea containers, you've got these Maersk and OOCL units just waiting at the Port of Los Angeles. The bottlenecks are everywhere.
And that physical gridlock at the ports is matched by a pretty severe legal and bureaucratic bottleneck in Washington right now.
Oh, you mean the ongoing legal battle?
Yes. A U.S. trade judge is currently urging the Trump administration to speed up over $10 billion in delayed tariff refunds.
$10 billion. That is a staggering amount of liquidity to just have sidelined.
It really is. And it highlights a growing inequity in the market. Large corporations have, armies of people to navigate that complex custom system and fight for those refunds.
Right, whereas smaller businesses simply don't have those resources. They're just stuck.
Exactly. Which means those smaller importers are effectively trapped. They lack the capital to secure premium air cargo space or cover those rising ocean freight rates.
All while their own cash is tied up in a delayed government refund, it creates a severe cash flow crisis for them.
It does. So when you step back, you see how these things are deeply intertwined. A disruption in the Middle East impacts crude, which edges up jet fuel.
Which naturally puts a floor on those elevated air cargo rates.
Right, all while importers are fighting trade policies just to get the liquidity needed to pay those exact bills.
It really puts a vice grip on the mid-market, which leaves you with a final thought to consider as we look ahead to looming inflation data. With energy prices tied to unpredictable Middle East conflicts, what happens to global trade if these elevated peak season cargo rates become the new permanent baseline?
That is the big question.
It really is. Think about what that does to your pricing power. Until next time.